Damn, but I'm excited.
Me too.
Hyped up.
Shipping is still one of those things that's like,
I don't know why it's so much,
it's improved so much,
but it's a lot.
but it's still not fast enough.
I know. I think I'm just spoiled rotten.
Yeah, when I have to pay for shipping, it does bother me though.
And when it's not 2 days, like Amazon has set the bar so low, like, you know, when it's stuff that you order and it arrives in 6 hours, it
Yeah.
arrives like 5 a.m.
I
You
had
know?
an option for 2-day shipping.
Did you?
Yeah, so for context, I paid $20 for shipping. So me and Justin bought something. We bought new geese, and what up, Chris? So I waited. He waited for me actually till I was ready to buy, and then I reached out to him and I said, "Yo, let's order so we can save on shipping." So for context, the standard shipping was $20. So we split it 10-10. You know how much it was for 2-day shipping?
How much?
$70.
Wow.
$70
$70.
for 2-day shipping.
Man, that's I mean, that's not even reasonable to me if it were a TV. Why is it so much money for some garments?
Yeah, I don't see why. It could just be that like you said, we're kind of spoiled because of what Amazon created, that guaranteed 2-day shipping or next day overnight. It makes everything else seem like it's for when something takes a week to get to me, it's like they might as well be shipping out of India or something.
Have you ever ordered something that takes a long time to get to you and you forgot you even ordered it and realized you don't even care to have it? By the time you get it, you're like, dude, in 7 days, I realized this was an emotional purchase.
Dude,
I shouldn't have bought this thing.
I do that all the time because I buy a lot of Kickstarters. And Kickstarters you don't get those for months, especially if you get in early. Sometimes it's even longer than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Some things I've gotten, I'm like, man, this is amazing. But I've ordered very specifically recently a magnetic like titanium flashlight that I swore to God I needed when I seen the Kickstarter for it. I was like, this thing has like a keychain thing. It's like a very high powered magnet. I can like stick it to the car if I'm ever changing a tire. Of course I need this flashlight. And I learned very quickly after receiving an email the other day that it's finally getting ready to get shipped that I didn't need that flashlight.
No. And that's exactly what ended up happening to me, dude. Is I was like, dude, I don't need this shit. I forget what it was. It wasn't a flashlight, but it was something similar. It was like a pair of gloves or something to do some shit I had already stopped doing.
Yeah.
I did it. I was like, oh my God. You know, there was also, anytime you buy something overseas, that's a horse of a different color.
Dude,
Yeah.
when you're buying shit from China,
Yeah.
it's so funny when you see people making purchases now. Like one of the things they include in their information about the purchase is if there was tariffs associated with it.
Yeah, I wonder, I guess it's just a way to inform the consumer that like, this wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
You know, I had to increase the price. Or I wonder if you have to be truthful about that.
Were companies like Shein and like Fashion Nova affected by the tariffs?
I'm sure they were, but they're paying, dude, it's nothing but profit when your company's built off of slave labor. Like it's nothing but profit. You don't have to worry about anything. Imagine how nice your facility could be if you just didn't have to pay your employees.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's why nations were built off of slavery. It's the only way to make money like that hand over fist is to not have to pay into the actual labor cost.
Yeah, that's why I say we'll never have like a legitimate another like set of pyramids built.
No, imagine they had a union.
Dude.
They'd still be building the pyramid.
Yeah.
The pyramids would still be being built.
There won't be a single pyramid been built
Never.
if they had a union.
Nope. If you get there, you'd get there now and it'd still be scaffolding and shit like that. Should be closed. There'd be dudes eating fucking lunch. There'd be 4 guys watching one guy turn a wrench.
Yeah.
She would be a catastrophe.
There's a video of like this Dominican influencer in Manhattan the other day, and there was a construction worker holding one of those like stop signs, like, stop, slow down. And he opens up the window and he goes, "Yo, how much do you," in Spanish, he asks this guy, he goes, "How much do you make holding that sign?" And the guy was like, $28 an hour. And he starts doing the math and converting it to pesos. And he's like, "Oh," he goes, I would come over here. He goes, I need that job. He goes, "I'd be rich if I had that job, $28 an hour." And I'm like, yeah, that's what we do over here.
That's what we do, man. And you missed the window. You could have came in. You missed it.
I think people are still coming in. I think
They're still coming in.
The news ain't covering it.
Dude, it's all a facade, bro.
You can tell because, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you can tell that this is all like a fugazi, that everything is a fugazi.
100%.
Because of the dramatic shifts in like news cycles and the fact that right now you can't find anything news like that the media has considered newsworthy that's not political. Only thing people are talking about is Iraq versus Iran. I mean, Iraq versus Iran. What the hell am I saying? Israel versus Iran. And everybody's talking about, no one's talking about the Ukraine anymore. No one's talked about them in months. No one's talking about PD anymore, even though there was like text messages just released in court today that were crazy. But it's not making headlines because people only want to talk about, I guess, what they're told to talk about. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the most pressing thing that's going on right now. Is it the most pressing thing right now? I guess it is.
I mean, I think it would have to be just because now we're involved in the conflict.
Yeah, I never heard the president say fuck before.
Yeah, actually, the last president that said the F word was Biden, but it was on a hot mic. It was like by accident. He was like talking to someone and left his microphone on.
Was that when he told that guy at the United Nations he was fucking his wife?
Did he ever say that?
Biden?
Yeah.
He said something weird about some guys fucking somebody's wife at like the UN.
That might have been it. That's hilarious.
I was fucking your wife.
You never tell the dementia guy what you got going on, bro. Come on, you don't tell a dementia guy. Imagine that. Imagine you the guy that's doing some kind of dirt, whatever it is, doing crimes, he's doing stuff that's like, unsavory, and you go ahead and you tell the demented guy about it, or you let the demented guy find out. What? Are you crazy?
Has anybody had eyes on him? We didn't do a welfare check on him.
Yeah, nobody's saying nothing, man. He's gonna go off like, he's gonna go down like the Pope did. How they were like fronting like the Pope wasn't dying.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Oh no, the Pope's in good spirits. He did mass today." I'm like, "Really? He did mass?" And then it's like, "Yeah, remote from his bed."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay." So
and it definitely wasn't pre-recorded.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, what else? We had a couple things that we wanted to touch on, bro. Shay and Jimmy.
I want to talk about the Shay and Jimmy real quick. Chris says, "I really only kickstart books or board games, and only if I really want it." There's a lot of board games on Kickstarter, which is
really
cool.
I thought about coming up with board games. That's so funny. People really do that?
Oh, 100%.
Damn. Probably have some
There's
interesting.
some elaborate ones too.
But I don't want to write the rules. I want to design it. Somebody else write the rules. I want it to look cool and be cool.
What kind of game would you make?
I'd probably make some kind of game related to like a Civilization style game. You ever see Civilization or Risk? Something like that, where you kind of, your objective is to kind of conquer all the lands.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that shit would be, so you could make a game like that so dope.
I agree. Like
so dope, man. You could make it like nice and bubbly and like real nice with like trees and stuff, or you can make just like dark and, like evil type of shit. You make it like different, I guess, like different lands, like in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, or like Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons, yeah. Oh man, am I sounding like
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it now. I'm not gonna say it.
Go ahead. What do you gotta say?
No, but I will say that it sounds like you dream of playing Dungeons and Dragons, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that Dungeons and Dragons is probably a great time.
This is an interesting discovery.
Yeah.
Damn, maybe I need to open up about this. What do we got? Come on, ask me some questions. Therapize me right now. Come on, psychologize me right now.
just like we get together and watch fights on TV, there's people that get together and play a game where they're transformed into a completely different place. And they're doing the same thing, cranking beers, you know what I'm saying, and taking ripskis and just having a good time.
Damn, dude. You know what actually opened me up to this? I went to my boy Sean's one time, and a few times on game night with all his brothers and shit, and they play Risk, or they play, and they play it, and it's all about like conquering the different lands, and that shit was mad fun. I remember I was having so much fun.
Now just imagine Dungeons and Dragons is like that on steroids. It's limitless. You know, I'm not saying you should play Magic the Gathering, but something like Dungeons and Dragons does seem like a good time. Magic's probably fun too, but it's a steep learning curve. You know what I'm saying? That's not for your regular average Pokemon user. You ain't just gonna go from Yu-Gi-Oh to fucking Magic. But now Dungeons and Dragons, there's a Dragon Master. There's a Dungeon Master, and that guy, he leads the fucking dance.
Okay, so that's like what they do in the Upside Down, or
I think that guy, I don't even really know, but my interpretation of it is that the Dungeon Master like tells the story. And he's like the guy that like says like, and then a wild monster appears, and then the players have to now figure out how to get past this point.
Okay. All right. So is it a person plays that character during the game, like in
Somebody's
Stranger
assigned
Things?
to that person.
Okay, so somebody's assigned to that, so they are the person playing that role for that particular round.
I think. No,
Okay.
the whole game.
For the whole game, the entirety of the game. Doesn't it last a long time?
The Dragon Master plays all of the non-player characters, also acts like a referee. Thank you very much, Chris. He also says, bro, that's funny. Justin, I've thought about the same. My version would be Europe during the Crusades. Oh, like the Spanish Inquisition?
Wow. Okay, see, this would be cool shit to me.
Yeah, they just did like a funny play on that on one of the latest Rick and Morty episodes for the new season, where they did like a play on like the Inquisition.
Yeah, because that stuff is cool, man. It's cool, and it's like, and you see somebody build momentum. They start to like invade your area because they keep rolling what they need to roll in a row, and they're just putting people in your land.
Chris says D&D is a great time. Can confirm. Let me know if your boys ever need a Dungeon Master. I keep saying Dungeon Master. Excuse me. I'm telling you, we should set that up.
Yo,
And
I would play.
He will hold our hands into the promised land.
Yo, I will.
Because I feel like only the Dungeon Master really needs to be an expert in the game.
Should we stream it? We should stream it on Twitch. Be like two bozos that never played this game before are gonna try. And we're gonna be led by somebody that, is gonna coach us without making us feel like idiots.
I wonder how. Can't guarantee he's gonna do that. I wonder how long. I wonder how long the games are. I wonder if it's like a Monopoly game where it's like it can go all night.
No, I think it continues. I think you stop and like play,
You pick
continue.
back up on it?
I think that's the way it
can
is.
go for years, essentially.
I think it's something like that. It's a long game. I think it can go as long as you kind of want it to. I'm sure there's limitations you can put on the game. I'm sure it's not like, whoop, beat the game.
Yeah.
We're done. Like, I'm sure
I
there's.
wonder if people have like Dungeons and Dragons, like little kits where like you could like get new armor and shit. And there's like upgrades in the game that make you stronger.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. I'm sure there's cards you could probably draw.
I don't think there's cards in that in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
is
no,
there?
I'm confusing it with Magic. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't.
Yeah, we could talk about Dungeon Master or Dragon Master or Dungeons and Dragons all night. But yeah, I do think that you should give it a shot, and I'd be happy to play with you. I've never played either, but I've always been open-minded too.
I'm not playing without you. Do you think I'm going to do this on my own?
No, you're not going to use Stevens Glansworth. So let's talk about the real pressing issues. Not the
talk about
war, not Iran and Israel. I want to know what's going on with Jim Jones and Shay Shay.
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. It was kind of all right, I'll tell you. So Jim Jones, at some point, I don't know what the environment was. Now, shout out to Jim Jones. Okay, Dipset is, legendary. Dipset was a huge part of me coming up. As we all listened to it. I was wearing clothes that were way too big for me. It was all Dipset's fault. So we were all listening to Dipset. Diplomatic Immunity, one of the greatest albums, in my opinion, hip hop albums of all time. I still listen to it. It's winter music, But Jim Jones, in some environment, he happened to say to someone, I don't know who he was talking to. I wish I did. Sorry, bad storyteller. But he said that he's essentially better than Nas in some context. That was what he said. So he ends up on Shay Shay. Right? And what he says on Shay Shay is that Shay Shay asks him, this is where it gets tricky, is I'm not calling him Shay Shay. That shit is lame and corny.
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, I'm going to call him Shannon Sharp. So Shannon says to him, he said, yo, Jim, you smoke, right? And Jim's like, yeah, I smoke. He's like, okay. He's like, was you smoking when you said you better than Nas?
Yeah, that's funny.
Did you see that part?
No.
So, of course, Jim is like, yeah, I was probably smoking. Like, at first, he didn't even take it as a dig. He didn't even see it. He was so, like, bliss. He was like, yeah, I probably was. He was like, wait a minute. So then he tried to say something to Shannon Sharp that kind of, almost like when you get to where I'm at, you'll understand. Shannon was like, wait a minute. What are you talking about? He said, this is the biggest podcast in the world. He said, when somebody gets big, we call them. They call us or some shit like that. You know, he was pretty much like, this is the biggest show.
Right. He's big today.
Yeah, and he said, yeah, this is the biggest show you ever been on, or whatever.
That's not true.
So then they started kind of going back and forth. They got off of the original Nas topic and kind of started on this. What are you talking about? Like, who are you talking to? That kind of deal. And now Jim Jones keeps throwing out these physical challenges to him, like gym stuff. Like, let's work out. Like, you're a professional athlete. Let's see what's up. Let's have a push-up contest or something like that. Let's have, because they've been doing these things. I don't know if you've seen these. Like, cities are doing it, and it's really cool, man. It hypes me up. It's like they'll do a dude from, let's say, the Bronx, like some Puerto Rican dude from the Bronx, and then some dude from North Philly or something.
Yeah.
And then they do this exercise off.
Yeah,
you know, it's push-ups, weighted vest, pull-ups, like dips.
It's like
crazy.
a race, and you have to do like 50 pull-ups, 50 dips, 10, this, that, and it's like a race to see who could finish them the fastest.
Yeah, it's like a, what could I say? How can I compare it? I can compare it to.
It's like it would be.
It's like a jail CrossFit.
Yes.
It's like prison CrossFit.
Yeah, because they're in a park doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
They're at your local park on the jungle gym performing these activities, but these dudes are all yoked.
Yeah, it's every time every time some dude shows up in like a baggy shirt and a kufi, I'm like, oh, he's about to handle everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. And then next thing you know, the dude is just shredded doing all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
Jim Jones has been doing that?
I don't know if you follow. Do you follow Jim Jones?
No, I only see when he says something stupid and the internet plasters it everywhere. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I was a big Jim Jones fan. I'm not too big of a fan of him like lately. I think he's fucking super corny.
He's gotten he's gotten kind of into this kind of petty space
I think
that's
he's
not
too
working.
old to be acting the way he acts.
Yeah, I guess that's why he's trying to take it to something like this. But again, I think he's going too hard. Shannon Sharp's not even really responding to these things that he's doing. But he's saying, he keeps. I asked if you follow him because if you do, you see that he's in the gym like twice a day. Jim Jones is probably, no bullshit, he's like top 5 fittest hip hop dudes right now. Like, I'm not, like, that dude goes in. He's the kind of guy that'll bust out 75 push-ups, 100 push-ups, like, on the spot.
Yeah, with leather gloves on.
Yeah, exactly, with a blunt in his mouth.
Yeah.
So he's always in the gym. So now with these gym posts, he has Vamp Fit Life or something like that. Vamp Fit or something, just like Vamp Life. That's kind of his brand. So it's this fitness channel that he has, like fitness Instagram and stuff. And I think they even offer some kind of coaching plans, and he posts on that channel and on his own, or on that page and his own. He keeps on making these challenges to Shannon Sharp about, like, he said, how much you weigh, Shannon? Like 240 or whatever, 250, whatever he said. So he's like, I weigh about 190. So he takes this dumbbell, a 60-pound dumbbell, and puts it between his legs. He's like, this makes us about the same. And then he goes up and does like 10 pull-ups with this shit. He's like, I'm doing your body weight. And then he puts it down and does like 5 more with no weight. And he's like, this is like, I'm out here, get your reps. And everything he's doing, he's like, you're an athlete. So let's do something athlete-wise. And I don't know if he got that idea from I Show Speed, Have you seen Speed lately?
The racing people, he races.
Dude,
Austin
he's
Hall the
beating
other
pro
day.
athletes and shit.
Yeah.
And
He says he's preparing for the Olympics.
Dude,
The next Olympics.
Some of these influencers are really legit doing this kind of stuff.
One of the things is too is like when you have infinite money and resources and you could just dedicate all your time to doing something, you can get incredibly good quickly.
Yeah, the thing is nobody really does it, right?
Yeah,
they're
that's
enjoying their money, they're partying there.
When people see Mario Lopez and they're like, "Damn, it's so surprising that he's good at jiu-jitsu." It's like while I'm happy for him and I'm impressed with his jiu-jitsu, I'm not surprised because he has unlimited resources.
But he has very limited time, which makes it tricky. A guy like him, he's like Ryan Seacrest. He has like 6 jobs a day.
Yeah, he does a lot of shit.
He's doing a morning show. He's hosting this. He's shooting this for this TV show that he's hosting. And then he's going and doing a live event and doing a red carpet. Like that dude works, you know?
Yeah.
And he's doing influencer shit with his wife on Instagram. They're doing these little fucking TikTok. All that shit has to be scheduled. Mm-hmm. You know, but did you see bringing up Mario Lopez? Great thing. I wish we had the video to pull up. You know that dude, what's his name, Giovanni or something, that does the
yeah, the wrestler.
Yeah, that does the take me down for $1,000.
Yeah,
did you see the one with Mario Lopez?
Yeah,
he went a
Mario
little easy on him. You know, given his age, he didn't go crazy and like smash him and shit. But damn, that dude can move.
Yeah,
Mario Lopez can move, bro.
yeah, he looked good.
I'm like, this guy is taking my back immediately, dude.
His wrestling was super impressive. Like his like I didn't think he was gonna be that good of a wrestler.
Dude, his speed he was shooting with and shit. I was like, oh my god, this guy's an ant. And the step overs he kept doing. You know, the step overs. Every time he would get deep on a single, he would just step the opposite direction. And I'm like, man, that long step, bro.
Not to get too far away from the Jim Jones topic, because I wanted to say and to rebuttal that Jim Jones workout challenge thing. I think Shannon Sharp's body's like beat up. Like I think like he ain't got the knees that he used to have.
He might not, but that dude is a lifelong fit guy. It's hard to make up that time, right?
The amount of time that he has working out. But do you think that he's capable of doing the things that Jim Jones are doing? Is that like are you saying that he can easily do those things?
I don't know if he can easily do it, but I think that there's a difference between the way they each work out.
Yeah.
I think Shannon Sharp is likely lifts heavy and lower reps.
Yeah, he's not doing burpees.
No, like Jim Jones is a dude that's doing, you know, he's doing squats with dumbbells to then deadlifting the dumbbells to then coming right down to like 2 curls and squatting again. Like that's the kind of stuff he's doing. Shannon Sharp, I'm sure, is just bulldozing massive weight. So if they were to do a power lift off, Shannon Sharp smokes him every day. But if you tell me a push-up contest, Jim Jones might have some kind of, he can make up some ground.
Yeah.
You know, in an event like that. But
Like if they were gonna have a plank challenge.
yeah, I found it funny, but I'm like, man, imagine this gets into the zeitgeist, that this becomes the thing and the next generation becomes like the fittest generation that's ever lived. Like people just
That'd be
start,
cool.
that would be awesome. Like,
Yeah, but you know what? People are lazy.
they are lazy. They are lazy.
Because I think that it's like being ripped has always been like cooler.
yeah.
Like even since I was a kid, like if you were in great shape, it was always like super cool. And
Yeah.
it seemed like everybody thought that that was a cheat code for like getting girls,
But then nobody did it.
but nobody, including myself. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
including me. I was never shredded. My friends were shredded. I wasn't like that.
A lot of the
You know what I'm
people
saying?
that we remember that were shredded in high school, like you're so young that maybe they, like even some of those guys were just naturally shredded.
They were just naturally shredded. Dude, I had a lot of my friends growing up, bro, where I was at. They were just naturally shredded. They weren't doing nothing crazy, but at the same time, we were just regularly active kids. We were playing basketball. We were doing whatever. We were playing football and shit. And that was enough, along with the child's metabolism, to just keep you shredded through adolescence.
So I say that to say this, you know, it's hard for something like that to pop because
Yeah.
it's so hard.
But who knows? Maybe people start really doing something with it.
You know what's becoming big now?
What?
Steroids.
Yeah, I see young guys like these gym influencers online. They're all on gear, bro.
You
All
got,
of them.
like these guys. Do you ever heard of the Trend Twins?
I don't know if I know them by name, but I probably know them by face. If they've done videos with Bradley Martin or that other dude, that other kid that lifts all the time,
the like Australian or no, he's not
He's
Australian.
a real bodybuilder. He's American. He's a real bodybuilder,
Oh,
and he's
okay,
like,
okay.
and he's like he's super young, and he's just an animal. I forget his name.
There's like this subsection of YouTube where there's these young yoked dudes, and the Trent twins are like a part of that like universe, and they're just like they're known for like their I don't want to say steroid abuse because I don't want to sound like, but that's what they're known for, you know.
Yeah,
And it's even in their name, the Trent twins.
yeah.
And it's like they do them and along with a bunch of other people like glorify the use of steroids. Given that if you gave me steroids, I'd love to do them. Even guys like, you know, even in the jiu-jitsu world, it's also like something that's like glorified too.
Yeah, for sure. They don't really have real strict testing and stuff like that.
No, and when you
No.
do, and they tell you, it's like always joked about that, like that's how you get good.
Yeah, I wish. I think that the way it'll probably help you get good is it minimizes injuries. That's the thing. It's like,
It lets you train more.
yeah, it lets you train more, man. You get hurt less, and when you do get hurt, you recover more quickly.
Yeah.
So that it just gives you more mat time. Again, it's compounding that time, right? No matter what you do, you can't make up for mat time, dude.
Yeah, facts.
You cannot make up for mat time. You can't. But yeah, I got to check out that Trend twin.
Dude, it's two
Dang.
kids. They're fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And they just
Are
be-
they jacked, enormous?
Yo,
Yo, but see this.
dude, they be yelling at each other, going through the craziest mood swings from all this fucking all the steroids they're doing, and they just be like, crazy stuff, like yelling at each other in the supermarket about the food that they're gonna get, and like, you can't be eating this shit. It's like, look at the serving size. It's just funny as hell. And they're just crazy.
Yeah. It's funny though because you know people kind of discredit the achievements of people on steroids, right? They kind of, but you can't give steroids to just anybody and they get big.
Yeah, you don't just take steroids and get huge. You have to put in the work still.
Yeah, you ever see the old South Park episode with the weight gain 3000?
Nah. what was that?
Cartman was just drinking his thing, thinking he was gonna get diesel and shit, you know. But given it was like a shake, it wasn't steroids. But you know, it's kind of a metaphor for steroids, in my opinion. So he's taking this shake. He's like, I'm gonna get huge, man. He's like, I'm gonna get huge. You guys aren't even gonna recognize me. So he ends up doing just doing that and not working out. Like he didn't combine the two. So he just got fat as hell sitting there. That would be me on steroids.
I knew somebody when we were young who gained mad weight doing something similar to that. They were just eating like they normally ate, but then they were also having like protein shakes
Can't do that.
and like protein bars.
And protein shakes are not really protein shakes. They're more like treats that have protein in them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's funny, man. So same thing happened to him.
He just gained a bunch of weight and he was like, I don't get why I'm gaining all this weight. Like but it's like it all breaks down to no matter what diet you do, like your caloric intake.
Yeah.
Is like the real defining factor of whether you're going to lose weight or not. Unless you're doing like, I think the only one that breaks that rule of physics or thermodynamics is the actual term. The only one that breaks that rule of thermodynamics is keto. And I almost don't even want to say that, but people will consume 2,700 calories worth of bacon for breakfast and somehow, some way, still lose weight eating bacon and cheese. Like, you know, all these calorie dense foods that are involved in the keto diet. It's just interesting that you don't have to maintain as strict of a caloric deficit while doing keto. And I know that from experience. Ask me, I did keto forever and I got gout doing it. So that means I did it hard. So fuck you if you don't agree with what I'm saying.
Yo, he did do it hard. I can. And who diagnosed you, bro?
Did you give it to me? Yeah. Justin also believes I have celiac disease too. So, which I can't disagree with. All the evidence points to me having it. But yeah, I have some kind of fucking carbohydrate intolerance, where like I eat a piece of bread and it just all goes to my ass.
Yeah, like literally his ass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but what do you got? You got something else?
Yeah,
You look
I
like
got
you're
some other stuff.
glancing at something. What do you got?
Yeah, so I think it's super interesting. Speaking of trends, it's like a trend going on right now of people impersonating ice agents.
Oh yeah.
It's just so stupid.
Dude, that's so grimy, bro.
Dude, first it was the teacher. The teacher for like superhero day or something like that wore an ICE uniform, and he was fired because of that. So not the smartest teacher in the congregation, but that's interesting. But now there's people just across the United States, not even in just one state. There's multiple people who have been arrested for dressing up as ICE agents and committing crimes.
Yet they were leveraging it, right?
I don't even get
One of the guys threatened, he said, yo, if the chick didn't hook up with him, he was going to deport her.
Yeah, which is crazy.
You know, I mean, it's not far-fetched for some kind of agent in his country. But I'm saying,
A cop just got caught probably like a year or two ago with a chick. Did you see the video where he's driving? He arrests this girl. I think she's driving intoxicated, and she says to him, "I'll hook up with you right now." As he's driving back to the police station, he's like, "Don't say that." And then his camera goes off, and then the camera comes back on of somebody releasing him from the car. He locked himself in the back seat with this girl.
oh no. So it comes back on as they're opening the vehicle from the outside because it's
Yeah.
got the child
Because
locks.
the guy who opened it up started his camera like, what the hell do you mean you got stuck in a car with your perp, and you're over here in this place where nobody's at? You're parked on the side of a cliff.
Damn, that cop that showed up ain't getting no backup on his next call.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the other guy lost his job. But I say that to say this: it's not a far-fetched thing.
Yeah, it's definitely not far-fetched. So,
Yeah, crazy. Another guy robbed a auto parts store.
oh, so these guys weren't working together?
Dude,
these were
guys
separate
are
cases?
these are all separate cases.
Damn, yo, Dirtbag's going to find a way to hustle, bro. They're going to find a way, dude.
Yeah, dude,
They're going to find a way every single time. They're like, they won't let a tragedy go to waste.
No, dude, one guy was not only dressing as an ICE agent, he was acting as an ICE agent. He was like detaining like Latin men who he thought were illegal.
So he was, what, like kidnapping people?
He got funny you say that because he was charged with kidnapping.
That is kidnapping, dude.
Yeah, holding people against their will.
Dude, you can't just go up and he's going to get kidnapping, impersonation of a federal agent. He's going to get all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Spaz says, did you watch Tyler One's Power Meet stream a few years back? I didn't see that. I wonder if that's in reference towards, it's definitely in reference towards the lifting we were talking about before. But yeah, in reference towards the people impersonating ICE agents, I think it's crazy.
Yeah, that's a nutty thing, but I could see people doing it. I mean, it's such a believable thing today because the media is making it look so crazy. I mean, I know a lot of Latinos, bro. I know a lot of Latinos here legally, here illegally, and this isn't happening in a lot of places that I know of. So I don't know if it's happening as much as they're saying it's happening. Do you think it is? It's happening a lot, or is it happening more than the media is saying it is, or is it happening less and they're inflating it to make it seem that way?
I think that the government reported out that ICE has a quota of 3,000 people a day.
Oh, so they're putting quotas up.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing makes a law enforcement agent hustle like a quota.
Yeah. I will say that their presence is here. Like we know they're on the island.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
we know that for sure.
Yeah.
They've been in our neighborhoods. I don't know if they're napping people up.
Yeah, but they're showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're essentially doing their job. I mean, I had a homie that was doing that worked on cars. You know, he worked on cars a lot in his backyard. And I remember I was chilling at his house one day. We were just hanging out in the backyard, you know, chilling. And auto crimes just came in the backyard. Just came in the backyard and started running car parts. Started running bins on car parts. And, you know, nothing was stolen, but they're like, yo, it looks like you're up to something over here. Like they, you know, we've been watching and investigating and shit. You know, we were taking like the fence off and pushing cars out the side onto the side block and shit, just because like that's
how you get them out.
That's how you get them out. Yeah. So, so I could see, you know, what they did, but when they didn't find nothing, they left. You know, if they came in and started finding stolen car parts, like now in my older age, you know, initially I'd be like, these cops need to go to hell. But now I'm like, if they're checking and the parts are stolen, they're stolen. Like, what can we do? So I'm trying to have a little grace for people doing their jobs, but it's hard sometimes.
This was a tough one.
This is a tough one,
This
dude.
is a tough one because it's like you want to say, hey, if you didn't commit any crimes, maybe we keep the good ones, you know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, did you commit a crime by coming here? It's a difficult one to say. I won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I'll tell you what my perspective is on this whole entire thing.
Go for it.
I don't win by them deporting people. I might have even said this on last episode.
No, I don't think.
The mortgage rate, the interest rates don't go down if more people get deported. Beef doesn't become cheaper if people get deported. Our crazy insurance issues that we have in this country don't go down if when people get deported. Maybe that one might be affected by people getting deported. Maybe not. The two things I said in the beginning, right? I don't think the job market gets better. I don't think groceries get cheaper. Milk doesn't get cheaper. Eggs don't get cheaper. The contrary probably will happen, and fruits and things will get more expensive because now we need Americans to pick them. And we all know we're paying that guy $29 to fucking hold that stop sign. What do you think they're gonna have to pay people to fucking pick strawberries?
Yeah.
So if the president should be focusing on anything, in my opinion, the people should be requesting that the president focus on things that improve our day-to-day lives, like gas becoming cheaper, like groceries becoming cheaper, like the interest rates going down, stuff like that. Job opportunities. Like I could think of 100 other things that we could benefit from that he pledged to do that would be more beneficial than mass deportation. We have to pay for all this too. It's not like money isn't going into all this, right? And it's like, are we really solving a problem? 3,000 a day? Like, that's your number? That's not a good number. For the amount of people that were coming in and the amount of people are here, it's like, put our focus on something else. But I think that that's juicy and that some people, some of his constituents want to see this happen. But I think that it just comes from a position of there's somebody painted as an enemy and, people want to see that enemy go down. And that person is like the face of immigration, like the face of the undocumented, like no matter where they're from, whether they're from Latin America, Asia, Europe, whatever, like the face of the undocumented. And they want to get them out of here. But the truth is like, we don't benefit from that as much as we would benefit from other things like interest rates going down, the housing market stabilizing, the groceries going down, the price of oil going down. Those are the things that I think that I would like over immigration. If they did those things and they were doing immigration too, I'd be like, well, fuck. Do what you got to do, buddy. Price of eggs are down.
Yeah, I do think there's an element of all these things that are kind of tied together. I think it's just a long-term play. I don't think we're going to see results immediately. I think it's going to be a long-term play, just like tariffs are going to be a long-term play.
Yeah.
There's not going to be anything that's going to be changed overnight, but I think that something has to be affected somewhere, right? If there's less people renting, if there's less people needing homes, if there's less people needing food, if there's less people needing certain things, it's got to affect something. Do I know what it's going to affect? No. Do I think they're even going to make a dent in the amount that came in? It's like 20 million came in the last 4 years.
But that's
so
what I'm saying, yeah.
Getting 3,000 a day is not going to do it. You would have to get 1 million a day. You got to crank it up to 1 million to really make a dent in what you are saying you're going to make a dent in.
And then you got to pay to get 1 million people out of here,
which can't be done.
So it's also like, it's from that perspective, it's like you're not going to put a dent in it with 3,000 a day. It's not going to affect like those. I think that's low hanging fruit.
Yeah, and I think it's a futile effort. It's just something that's going to be a waste of resources, and it's something to just hype up people. It's a thing that I think it's a thing you can show action on before a lot of the other things people voted for him for.
Yeah, but it's a farce because it's like, it's not real.
But you can show like it's being done.
Yeah, we could dramatize it in television and show all these things and stuff like that. And there could be all these protests and riots and all these things. It's like, but like, dude, fucking if you just brought gas down by $1, if you brought the interest rate down by 2%, put me in the ICE uniform.
He might be sitting up there like, why do you think we just bombed Iran? He's like, I'm working on the gas. I'm working on it.
Let's talk about it.
You
Tell
know?
us what the plans are. Unless I'm uninformed, I haven't heard a single thing. They're not even talking about immigration reform. They're just talking about getting people out of here. They're not even talking about setting forth a reform to stop this from happening. Are we so dumb that we're just going to continue going along with like this guy whose idea is to just get everybody out of here, which we know is not possible, and isn't even talking about corrective action to how these people came in here?
Yeah,
There's no immigration reform?
The problem is, I think the immigration reform needs a lot of other people's approval. You know, you need like Congress, you need the senators, and you know, you need the Senate, you need the House. Like, you need everybody to, you know, to go along with it because of the checks and balances system.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a lot of buy-in from people that benefit from that demographic of voter or whatever their reason is. You know,
Yeah,
so
I agree. It's like it's tied up in like this political like jungle gym. But
yeah.
hey, man, bring the mortgage rates down by 2%, and you can send me out there, and I'll catch a couple of guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. One thing I'm saying is the amount of money you're spending on the illegal immigrants, right? Let's count up how many you're getting rid of, and then let's count up how much money we're saving, and then divvy that up for young professionals trying to buy homes. So if you do that, if you're like, here's the check from all the people we got rid of, I'd be like, how much is it? You know what I'm saying? How much is the check?
We owe
Let's
them
see
money.
something.
We owe them money because they're holding it because they got to house everybody. They got to send them away. We owe them money from all the jet fuel they're spending. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't do this. All I'm saying is that, fuck, dude.
But it's got to have a result, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So if there's a lot of people that'll be like, man, that's terrible about this, people getting deported, but we got a house, honey. You know, that's going to like shut people up, and that'll make, you know, a couple people might dye their hair from blue back to brown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If you bring the interest rates down.
If I'm like, listen, I'll be like, I remember when he came down and got rid of a lot of the gangs
Yes.
in Suffolk County. He got rid of the gangs himself, came down, made task forces, literally made our neighborhood safer.
Yeah.
You know, and I can attest to that. I witnessed it with my own eyes.
He came here. He
He
came
came and had a meeting, dude.
Yeah.
He came and had a meeting and got rid of gangs that were like wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'll give him that. So, but there's, you know, we got to see the results here. You know, I saw it last time, so I'm giving you a little grace here, even though it's looking pretty bad and it's very divisive. It's I don't like divisive policy. I don't like things that split people apart.
That's exactly what
I don't
it
like
is.
that. It's when it pins us against each other, because I don't like that, because that's not his job. You know, we elect people to bring us together and to help us all, not to you know, drive a wedge between anybody. So anyway, that's enough about this. But yeah, I'm not a fan, bro. And I'm also not a fan that there's a lot of soft people in the generation behind us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm worried that they're going to start bumping up the draft age.
Bumping up. Oh, geez.
Imagine
But you
that's
know
supposed to
what,
be
though?
35. 35 is a draft limit.
Holy, that what? So if you're 35 or till you're 36, or how's that work? How old am I?
It's supposed to be 35, I think, is the cutoff. Like the end of your 35th year, I think, is the cutoff for the draft. So I think that's it.
I think I'm. Wait,
You know, because World War III is knocking, bro. That shit is knocking, bro. You know, is there anything in the chat there?
Spaz says there's a particular type of person complaining though. But I mean, like, what's this complaint, right? Like this complaint that people are here.
Complaining about what?
I think they're talking about the the immigration issue. What are they complaining about? People being here? I don't. Hey, listen, what we need to what I think people need to begin to do is to not entertain irrational arguments.
There are some that are rational, though, and I'll give them to you.
And the ones that are rational should be entertained. But
I'll give you one.
Let's hear one.
I'll give you one. Now, I am a Latino American, first generation here, right? And even though, you know, my family's from Puerto Rico, my mom came here, didn't speak any English, right? So, and she learned quickly, assimilated and stuff. But we've watched our neighborhoods get to a point where you can't go to the grocery store and speak to a person in English. They're telling you what's due at the register. Now it doesn't affect us because we speak Spanish and English. But if I was an English speaking American and I'm here and my neighborhood becomes a bunch of people that I can no longer communicate with, that like I go to the grocery store, I can't get groceries because you don't speak the language of my country, and nobody does. Like imagine being a white family that grows up next to a grocery store that then becomes a compadre and nobody speaks English. And then you go there trying to get your groceries in your neighborhood, and your neighborhood is now something else. Like it's now become a different country almost. You know, like that doesn't affect us, but I wonder how these people feel. Even as like black Americans, you're in a neighborhood like that and it just becomes a different neighborhood. Like imagine your neighborhood became Chinatown. You'd be like, fuck, like I can't get anything around here. Like I can't communicate with the person at the cash register. I can't communicate with the pharmacist. I can't communicate with anybody. Like everybody's speaking a different language, you know? So I wonder how that feels, because I don't know how that feels, you know?
I agree that happens. I just don't think that would be like from my perspective, I don't think that would be a rational argument to, you know, start bringing out the pitchforks to, to start mass deportation. Because
for us, it's not.
No,
you know?
I don't think it is for any, because this is my perspective, right? That is something that has been happening since the inception of America. When people came here, they came to the towns where all their people were. This has been happening before, you know, the mass influx of Latin Americans. This was when the Irish were here. The Irish went and lived with the Irish. This is why places like Little Italy exist. This is why places like Chinatown exist, because when people come here from places, they want to be around their people where they could get food. It's just a natural thing that happens. It's not as a result of illegal immigration.
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, right? I'm trying to play from the perspective of someone that doesn't speak our language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's
like,
what I'm saying, that those things aren't a result of people immigrating illegally, because we can say the same. If you look at Chinatown, there's places on Long Island where there's like a bunch of Indian people live, and they have the Indian markets, and it's, it's.
But it's not kind of as dominant, right? And I also think we're seeing the early stages, right? We're not growing up witnessing when the Italians came here or witnessing when the Irish came here, but the Latinos coming here, we're seeing the early stages where it's just like, and not for nothing, we're migrating differently than anybody else ever has. You know what I'm saying? We're everywhere, dude.
Yeah, there's more of us.
Like
there's
we're
an entire
everywhere.
Continent of Spanish-speaking people that doesn't even, and that's not even all of Latin America, you know?
Yeah, so it's like we're coming in volume that nobody's ever seen before. So I think that that from their perspective, I could see why they're like, damn, like I'm like our neighborhood's not the same. Like we're not, so that's all I'm saying is I could see that perspective to a point, and we're blessed enough to it not affecting us. On the contrary, I'm like, damn, thank God. Now I could get, I could get empanadillas, or I could get whatever. I could get sancocho more places.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that those things like that, what happened there, I don't think is a direct result of people entering the country illegally.
It is. For a fact, if you went around our neighborhoods, half the neighborhood would be gone.
No, and I'll tell you why that's not the case, because there's other neighborhoods that have other cultures of people. That would mean that all those people there that went there is like the same thing. Like people went there as a result of like.
But it's a smaller percentage, much smaller percentage.
Only a smaller percentage because there's less of the people here.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. It's a smaller percentage. Like it's the volume that's overwhelming Americans. Like that's my point. It's like it's a volume. Like there's towns you go in where I came up, it's a completely different demographic. Nobody in my lifetime.
Yeah, but
I'm talking 10 years, dude. 10 years our neighborhoods were different. 10 years.
Like I said, that's something that happens. You look at Miami and the fact that there's a bunch of Cubans there, and and why there's no Cubans anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? There's Cubans more. There's
a ton of Cubans there. Ton of Cubans.
Same thing with Haitians.
Yeah.
There's a ton of Haitians. There's a whole little Haiti in Florida. Just like, you know, all these other places. I want to read the
Go ahead.
chat because Spaz has
And again, I'm playing like devil's advocate, trying to,
It's
I think this is an interesting conversation because I try to see the perspective because I can't see it myself because I walk in and I speak to, it's nothing. It's like I'm speaking to my family when I purchase something.
He says, look, I have an HOA. I pay to take care of the pool. If someone comes in and uses my pool, I don't give an F if there's a space. I don't give an F if their pool sucks. Get the F out. You want to use the pool, buy a house, join the HOA, and use the pool. It's always going to seem to be the people without an HOA or a pool fighting for my pool to be open to the public.
Fair.
I agree with that. 100%.
That's a fair analogy.
Yeah. That's why I've never said like we got to stop this or stop doing it. If you listen, and I also think that a lot of people who are in the situation where they're here illegally understand. I think that a lot of people that are complaining are like the same people who made up the word Latinx. Like there's not one undocumented person saying like, woe is me. They're kind of like, listen, I know the game we're playing. I've been moving a certain way longer than this has been on the news because people have been getting deported before, maybe not this rate, but people have been deported before,
For sure.
Before this. So it's not, and the concern of being deported has, always been, this, it's always kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time we've seen ICE in our neighborhood.
Yeah, no, absolutely not, dude. Absolutely not.
This idea that like people are like, it's like, are people concerned? 100%.
Yeah.
But am I saying like stop doing it? I'm like, I'm not saying stop doing it because it's that would be me making an irrational argument.
Yeah.
That's like the same argument that people, we talked about this last week. These people are protesting for people to stop, for ICE to stop coming into these states and doing their job. That's an irrational argument.
Yeah.
That's what they're here for. There's a federal law that people are violating, and they're there to, make you pay for your sins.
That's it. And I want to say something with what you're saying, with what we're seeing online, with the people that are protesting. Everybody needs to be aware of the amount of AI propaganda videos. Have you seen any of these?
The AI videos?
The AI videos of, people with Mexican flags saying stuff about America and this kind of thing, and it's all AI, bro.
No,
it's all AI. They're
gorillas.
on both directions, bro. There's ones of Mexicans, people that are carrying Mexican flags and look Mexican. It's not like the real protesters that we're seeing, which are a lot of them are not even Mexican, and they're making them say things, and it looks believable if you're like, I'm telling you right now, boomers are believing that shit.
Oh, 100%.
You got that, and you got the other side. There's propaganda AI videos of guys in Mexican shirts being arrested and carried into a plane by agents. And it's all AI. And then you look in the comments and it's just people fighting each other about this. And I'm like, yo, this is not even a real video.
Dude, why are all undocumented people labeled Mexican?
Oh, that's the thing that makes me think this is all fishy, bro.
What?
Everybody's Mexican. I'm like, no.
That's so
I'm like,
stupid.
that's just not true. I'm like, there's all kinds of countries. And I don't know a single Salvadorian homie that I had growing up that's going to throw a Mexican flag on his back and protest.
Dude, I don't even know that many Mexicans, and I know mad undocumented
Me neither. It's
people.
just New York. We don't have, it's not Cali. It's not Arizona. It's not Texas.
Yeah.
Like over here, we got a lot of Central Americans and shit like that. We got a lot of Salvadorians, a lot of Ecuadorians. We got a lot of Hondurans. We got, Venezuelans in there, and then it's Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. Of course, this is New York, but it's like I don't understand what they're talking about. Bro, but it's the propaganda videos I want people to be aware of. Just be smart, man. Just don't let the internet control your perspective. Think, try to see the other side.
It's hard, dude. We were talking about this before we came on. You brought up I forgot what the term is called. The dead internet.
Yeah, the dead internet theory. If you want, I could say what it is.
I definitely want you to elaborate on it. It's difficult because it's like we live in a time where this exists, and it's hard to discern. Look, even when you're buying products on Amazon, it's like, are these reviews real?
Yeah, or are they bullshit? It's and is Amazon in on it? Because it'll have a little check. It says, verified Amazon purchase. But I'm like, is Amazon in on it?
How do we know? Like, what? dude, it's so hard to tell what's real and what's not.
Yeah, dude, it's impossible. So that the concept of the dead internet theory, just defined by on Wikipedia and other places too. I checked other sources. The general idea is that the dead internet theory is a conspiracy theory that asserts, due to a coordinated and intentional effort, the internet now consists mainly of bot activity and automatically generated content manipulated by algorithmic curation to control the population and minimize organic human activity. And this is the type of definition I found across multiple resources, and also that it's internet theory consists that it's mostly on social media, and the percentage is like 60-40, of internet interaction according to multiple theories. That's fake. Like 60% of people. So when you're in the comments disagreeing with somebody, it's probably a bot.
Dude, I say the same thing about when you see these guys like Kai and I Show Speed, and they got 60,000 people in the chat. I don't believe those numbers.
No, they're not real. And that's the thing. Like these bots and it's become an industry. Right. So now you have major artists, because that's another thing that's coming out, is like you have these artists that are, they have, let's say 40, 50, 60 million monthly listeners on Spotify, but they can't sell out a show. They can't sell 50 tickets to a concert.
Yep.
And I'm like, how can you not sell 50 tickets to a concert when you have 60 million monthly listeners?
Isn't that crazy?
Like, what are we talking about? Like, I'm going to these concerts all the time.
It's a fugazi, dude. It's just like we were talking about earlier. It's like we don't really live. It's honestly, it makes you want to turn everything off, and like, because you consistently feel like you're being manipulated. I think that the fact of me disliking, commercials and advertisement is like the tip of the iceberg. It's like not even. It's even smaller than the tip. It's like, in comparison to me being manipulated by fake comments and fake reviews and disingenuous reviews or comments, that's the scary shit, because that's what's the hardest things to discern. It's like, damn, which one of these VPNs is really the best one? Because this guy says that Nord's the best, and this guy says TunnelBear is the best, and this other guy says that this one's the best. It's like, it's hard to tell what the best product is anymore, and a lot of it is because of stuff like that, like curated AI, reviews and comments. And then when you look at the political space, it's easy to hate a certain group when you read the comments and it's AI writing crazy stuff on there just to generate engagement. Yeah,
and what's crazy is you think about it, and it's like they don't have to convince both people, because it's a relationship is between two people, friendship, family, whatever, right? It's you and another person. Mm-hmm. All they have to do is convince the dumber one. That's it. They got to get one out of the two to believe, and they sever that relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
They sever the friendship. They sever the marriage. They sever the father-son, they sever the uncle, the two brothers, whatever it is. That's all they have to do is just get the dumb one.
Yep, you could see it perfectly. And every time there's a new president coming up, you look at your Facebook and see how many people are like, yup, just deleted 16 more people off my friends list who don't see the world the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or don't see the world the way it is. It's like, dude.
Yeah. Jeff Dye, the comedian? You ever see him?
No.
Like, he's been on Rogan before. He's a funny comic. But he's been speaking a lot of, tough topics for people. He's been making a lot of jokes about that. And he had a really good point. He's like, people get mad at me. They get whatever. He said, you have to understand that now people don't live in real life. People live in the environment of their algorithm that they've built, right? He's like, so if what you watch happens to be a street fight, he's like, you're going to get street fights. It's going to show you more street fights. He's like, so that becomes the world you live in. Every time you walk around strolling, you think everybody's fist fighting on the street. He's like, I like butts, dogs, and home runs. He's like, so that's all my world is. He's like, when I'm looking at my phone, it's just a home run. It's just a hot chick with a fat butt. It's just it's a dog. It's puppies. It's this guy playing fetch with his dog. It's a trainer training his dog. He's like, that's what I see. He's like, so how could I ever see eye to eye with a person who has an opposite algorithm as me? And that's just what they think. That's become their little echo chamber.
Yeah.
You know, is just what they think and what they believe and what they want to see is all their phone shows them.
It's true.
You know, and I was like, damn, it astounded me. Because I'm telling you, I have a friend that, you know, her Instagram was so different than mine.
Yeah.
Did I talk about this before?
Maybe I don't know if you talked about it on the pod, but I remember you had this conversation with me, and it is crazy.
Bro,
that, like,
her soul is like so pure. She's like just such a sweet person.
yeah.
That
Her Explore page probably has flowers on it. And
oh,
shit.
that's all it is, dude. It's flowers. It's like twinkly music and shit. It's shimmering water on the coastline. It's collecting seashells and shit. And it's just, you know, that's what she watched. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, nobody's getting knocked out on your feed. Yeah, you know?
I'm looking at mine right now. There's a video of Jim Jones in a go-kart smoking a blunt with 2 pit bulls. I'm not even kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I'll show Justin.
Yo, that's 100% accurate. Oh my God,
To
dude.
prove that what I'm saying is true.
Bro, that's exactly that's hilarious.
A bunch of jujitsu shit.
Yeah.
Tattoos, and then the NYPD arresting, it looks like Max B. I don't know who this dude is. NYPD arresting
Oh, I
somebody.
seen that one.
Yeah.
So ours overlap.
That's what my page consists of. Jiu-jitsu, Jim Jones smoking blunts. Not gonna lie, there's a couple chicks in here. Tattoos, and NYPD arrest.
All right, I'm gonna tell you what mine is. So first thing is a booking.com ad of this nice ass house in somewhere I can't afford. So you already know I look at things I'm aspiring to have.
Yeah.
All right. So you got that. Then we got Mike Tyson highlight. Breakdance video. Damn, that dude just did 2 backflips. And then some chick shuffle dancing to like house music, right? That's what I got. Then I got this little kid, Miles the Music Kid. You ever see him? He's this young kid that makes fire beats. He's like 8 and he's a savage, bro.
Oh, okay.
So you got him. Then I got, what else I got? Then I got a coach, like a music coach. This dude is just yelling about like how to be a more successful artist.
Platinum artist behind him.
Yeah,
Platinum records behind him.
struggling artist. She cleans houses. Yo, shout out to Finding Kells. Like she's gonna get on one day. She cleans houses and she's open about it that she cleans houses.
Yeah.
Right. And her music is fire. She got this soulful ass voice.
People
She's
like
fire.
that pop and develop cult audiences.
Yeah, and then I got Freaky Zeke talking shit on here, you know, and then a Jordan ad. You
Yeah,
know,
so
the Jordan
you're right.
5s in grape.
People's
Completely different reality, right?
yeah, people do live in but that's why I like, you know, that thing that I said before about people like living in different worlds. It's like that also makes sense because it's in line with what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
imagine we
people-
were obsessed with politics. All this would be is deportation videos. It would be videos that are anti-Trump or anti-Democrat.
Oh damn,
or
that's very telling.
that's all it would be on there.
You're right. Damn, there's not one burning cross on our Instagram.
No,
dude.
not one. Yo,
Yeah.
holla at your gualas,
Yeah,
bro.
No hate over here.
Come on, bro. There's no free. Come
No
on.
hate. You and I just like seeing people fight,
Yeah.
chicks dancing.
I can't believe there's no
tattoos.
jujitsu on there, bro. That was crazy.
Dude, mine's just like mad. The first jujitsu is like X guard entries.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, but that's funny, man. Yeah, it's just and so imagine if that's what you listen or if you like to watch like violence. You know how much violence is on Instagram? Like I saw a dude the other day jump in the back of an Uber in London.
Oh shit!
You ever see that video?
No, but I can imagine
Bro,
there's a stabbing taking
Bro,
place.
he jumps in the back of this Uber, right? Dude has like he's like light skinned with like a big poofy like pullback, right? Like he had braids and took them out and then tied his hair up in the back. Bro, this guy jumps in there and he's like, go, man, go. Yo, they're literally pulling the doors open and stabbing him from both sides.
I know the video
They're
you're
just
talking about.
sticking him. And he's like, go, man, go. And this driver, I want to punch him in the face. The guy's like, what's going on, man? He's like, please, please. I'm like, yo,
they're opening
they're
the
poking
door.
the shit out of this guy. Yeah, they're just opening and sticking him and opening and sticking him. And he's like, and he's trying to get away from like one side and he's trying to get away from the other side. And I'm like, bro, why is this on my feet? Immediately, I was like, hide. I'm uncomfortable. You know? I'm like, get out of here. I don't want to see some dude getting poked up like this.
Yeah.
And that stupid driver, it started to enrage me. I was like, yo, I'm like, it was. I'm like, my cortisol starts dumping. My heart is pounding because I'm seeing this dude getting stuck. And then I'm getting mad at the driver. I'm like, drive, you dummy. This guy's getting stabbed. Like, get out of there.
I had to tell people, my dad used to send me shit like that on WhatsApp. And WhatsApp's the worst fucking app ever.
WhatsApp is the worst. There's no filter, bro.
It's so stupid, too, because when you open a video, it has like this setting where it saves it to your phone. So I just had all these murders saved in my phone. My dad would send me people getting executed in Puerto Rico and shit.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
Like, I don't want to see. He's like, look what they're going on in Puerto Rico. And it's a dude with a machine gun just letting it off into a fucking bodega.
Yo, bro, I saw a dude one time on WhatsApp. One of my family members sends it to me. It's this freaking dude. He's like eliminating somebody's head like a watermelon. He's standing over him with like a Draco, and he's like, and I'm like, what is this? And he's like, yo, lo que está pasando en Puerto Rico. I'm like, bro, you can't send me this, dude.
Yes,
like, I'm not gonna sleep tonight.
Like
I'm not living that way, bro. I like peace. I like the beach. I like the sunset. I like cameras.
Yeah,
like,
send me a chick with a fat ass. Trick me every once in a while. Send me a chick with a fat ass that really has a huge dick. You know?
And then I'll chuckle about it and be like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, send me shit like that, dude. Do not send me fucking executions.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Dude,
That is
my dad's
not.
also famous for those, too. My
Dude.
dad will send you the fucking hottest chick with the biggest hog, dude.
Damn, I made an offer on a lens today and I just got a response and my heart's pounding now. I feel like I just hit the win lotto numbers, but it says he counter-offered. So
right,
I'm not going to look at it online, you know.
Pull us out of here so you could get to that.
Pull us out of here. All right, Masters of None podcast, episode 256. 256. Thank you, everybody that was in the chat. Appreciate you guys, man. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you never miss a single episode or a video we post or when we go live. And check us out on all your favorite audio podcast platforms. But if you don't find us on your favorite audio podcast platform, make sure that you talk to Berto because he's going to let you know.
Join the Discord. Join the Discord and harass us until we place the podcast on your obscure podcast listening platform. Have a great night, everybody.
That's it.
Ba, ba, ba.